Hello guys, today is Friday and I'm here with the American Horror Story Coven, which is season 3 of American Horror Story. Because each season is a different storyline, so pretty much each story is going to be unique. So this season is called Coven. It's going to be all about witches, and if you did not see the premiere episode, it was good. And I'm posting this on Friday because I wasn't really feeling too well. My throat was itchy and I think I had a fever. But I'm feeling better now, so here's the review. So we have the episode starting off in the 1800s. The show starts off with Madame Delphine LaLaurie. So if I mispronounce some of their names, please forgive me, even though I am from New Orleans. I can't pronounce. my pronunciation is sometimes not all that great. So we have Madame Delphine LaLaurie, who's being played by Kathy Bates. She's hosting a party where she pretty much is showing off her daughters to other veterans. This is time of New Orleans. We're talking about time of slavery. As young, presentable white women, they had to be pure and whatnot, and pretty much married off to decent, wealthy white man. And so she had two of her daughters from the first husband, and she's has a daughter from I think the second or third husband, I can't remember, but she got married 3 times. And so the way she talks about her daughters, she pretty much saying they're not that pretty, but they're gonna be good in other aspects. Then one daughter's like, "Well, Mama, my talents would be good for what's the word? She was talking. It's the word for like a whorehouse back then. I think it was called the boudoir. No, not the boudoir. The brothel. It's something like that. Some word I can't think of it. I know it begins with a B. And then Madame LaLaurie replies, "Well, honey, we ain't gonna find out till your wedding night." And so later that night, after the little party's over, we see her placing blood upon her face like it's a night cream. Like, oh, I am not looking good today. Like, I'm like, ew. So then we have this her husband come in like, you might want to come downstairs, and then he gets caught downstairs because her daughter caught sleeping with one of the slaves. So the mom pretty much smacked, "How dare you defile yourself? You might as well have been sleeping with the dog." And the black man like, "No, no, Mrs. What I didn't do it. I didn't do it." And she like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up." Love that you do, because you already know how it was. If you don't know how it was in slavery, black man could not touch a white woman. If she did, if she did voluntarily sleep with him, they gonna lie and say she was raped so she could get married, because you had a white woman had to be a virgin on her wedding night. She had to be. And sleeping with a black man, oh, that was a serious no in slavery terms. Let alone have a little mixed baby. Whoo, she in trouble. White woman is in trouble. But anyway, so after she done slapped her daughter a few times, they take the black man upstairs. His name is Bastian. They take him upstairs to the attic, where we are then shown these black males. One has his face literally peeled off, where you can see the muscles of his underneath. You can see his muscles, and he has maggots forming. One is some of them are in cages, chained and tied up. One has his eyes and mouth sewn shut. And then she takes Bastian, and he's like at the apex of the room. Looks like she had shown his eyes shut. And then she calls for her little pickaninny, which is usually what they call black children, the pickaninny, to come with this mask. And we see this child come up and place this literally a bull's head upon Bastian. And then she explains why she placed it upon his head, saying that as a child, her dad used to read her Greek mythology. She was fascinated with it, and her favorite story she was fascinated was with the Greek mythology creature she was fascinated with was the Minotaur. That's half man and half bull. And she says now she has one of her very own. And then cuts off to the title sequence of the show, the opening sequence. We then find ourselves in present day, where we see Zoe, who is played by what's her name? It's Zoe, one of the original actresses they had in the first season she played the daughter. Her and her boyfriend Charlie. They trying to hurry up and have a little get a little freaky before Mama get home. And so obviously he's afraid of hurting her because it's her first time. So as he finally as they get intimate, he starts to bleed from the nose, and then he starts not only bleed from the nose, but he starts to bleed from his nose, his eyes, and his ears. And then he ends up dying from the blood loss. And then we see Zoe in the train, who talks about pretty much what had happened. The doctor said he had apparently he had a brain aneurysm, but it was like there is like no brain aneurysm they have ever seen. And then we see her with her mother, showing cooing her, saying that I should have told you that, but apparently it skips the genetics skips a certain skips a generation. So now it's on to her because her grandmother was one, that she's a witch. And we get these albino police officers come in and take her away to a school in New Orleans where she will be for people like her. And we have this woman saying, "Don't worry, she'll be safe. She's gonna be with her own kind." So we have her, on the train with the creepy looking lady with the red hair and the albino police officers, and they drop off at this really beautiful house. I'm not even gonna try. It's a French word. I can't. It's called Miss Rose Academy, because I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the name. I'm gonna call it Miss Rose Academy because I can't pronounce, my French is terrible. So we then have Zoe walk in, and it's a really nice house too. It's a really nice house. It's just very quiet, and we constantly see like these figures, like pretty much, doing like that creepy thing they do in horror movies, like you walk in and there's like something walk past you and you look over and it's not there no more. And then they eventually attack her, and you look like you're about to stab her, and she's screaming like, "Oh my God, quiet! We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna actually harm you, Jesus!" And they take off their masks, and we see Madison Montgomery, who is played by Emma Roberts. Queenie is Gabrielle's. I can't pronounce this girl's name. She played in Precious, and Nan, who's played by Jamie Brewer. The headmistress Cordelia Fox, who's played by Sarah Paulson, she then comes in, tells the three girls, "Yo, go get the groceries out the car," and then she explains to Zoe the history of the school. In its heyday, it was a home to about 60 girls, and the bloodlines refused to pretty much reproduce, so they don't pass on the genetic, the witch genetic to the future generation because of, the whole, being, burned alive in the stake kind of thing. You fear for your child. So if that's the life, a witch that, if you get caught, you get burned. Obviously, you wouldn't want your child to go through that. So it's like, okay, I'm not even gonna have kids. Screw it. So that's why that's why witches are becoming less and less, because people are not the families aren't reproducing. So she then talks about the Supreme Witch. The Supreme Witch is different from all other witches. She's more powerful and she has more gifts compared to a regular witch who just has like one really, really good gift that they're good at. The headmistress then tells the story story about this young girl named Mr. Day. She's a young Cajun girl who had pretty much the power to bring a soul back from the precipice of death. So it died. She touch it, bring it back. But some religious people will see this as a miracle of God, but then some will see it as necromancy. So we then see the young girl who was obviously like she was sleeping. She's in her nightgown. She is dragged somewhere out there in New Orleans, because we got bayous now. We got bayous now. You you get lost in those bayous now. They drag the poor girl out. They have like this makeshift freaking stake thing. They tie up they throw gasoline on it. They light a match. She said, y'all gonna burn, and they light the girl on fire and she burns to death. That's just terrible. So then we scan over to somewhere in Los Angeles, where we see Fiona Good, who is played by Jessica Lange, who has been financing a science research stem cells. And we see like this little monkey on screen wearing a diaper, saying she has, the body of like an 86-year-old, and then they inject her with this thing, and now she all hyper, so like a regular, the young monkey again. And so she's like, oh, I want some of that. I want some of that. But he's like, I mean, it's working on animals, but they have to wait a little bit more before they start doing the human trials. Because you got to remember, yes, a lot of these companies they do testing on animals, but the way an animal system works is not the same as a human. Because like my cat could do my cat could sit down and go outside and eat a bird, or a squirrel. I go to eat a bird or a squirrel, I get sick. See, our animal's immune system is gonna be different than a person's. So something that may work on my cat ain't gonna work on me, and something that works on me ain't gonna work on my cat. You see how it works? See? So she gets a little bit of stuff like, I want it now. I want it now. She wants to feel young again because you know how apparently women we have a thing about getting old instead of us just enjoying it and being happy that we have now gotten older and embracing the wisdom we have gained over the years. We know we sitting there bitching like, oh my god, I'm getting too old. Look at these wrinkles. Oh my god, nobody's gonna think I'm sexy. Be happy that you have gotten to that point. Be happy you have gotten through all those freaking crappy years in life. You be happy you got through your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s. Be happy you got through that, and now you can pass on your wisdom of what you have learned in life to the next generation of young women. Be happy about that. Don't freaking be bitter and bitchy because you got wrinkles. Be happy you got wrinkles. Be proud to show you got freaking wrinkles. You should be proud to have some freaking wrinkles because you live life, okay? Be happy about that, okay? But that's some people don't even live to your age, okay? There's some people don't even live past age of 5 or 13, okay? Be happy you even still alive on this planet Earth. Anyway, she up in since she's a little bit we didn't see her in her little apartment jamming to Iron Butterfly in the God of the Vida. You know what I'm saying? In the God of the Vida. She just jamming, smoking a coke, snorting that coke. I just jamming. And then she just jamming with that. And then we have the scientists come in, and she explains that um she has son coming in and she's highly upset because the drug he's been injecting her with is not working. He says, well, she's been injecting it for 4 days, it's not working. He's like, well, I told you it was not ready for human trials. And she get upset when he said, I'm gonna go, resign and stuff. So she's like, She used her little magic to flick him across the raw, kisses him, and as she sort of kisses him, she begins literally sucking the youth out of him. So as she's getting a little bit younger, he getting old like really quick. And then we see in the mirror she's young, but then it doesn't. It's only the magic that she just did is only temporary because she go back to being wrinkly again. So we then go back into New Orleans at the school where we see the girls. They all having dinner, and as they talking and whatnot, they get some result. We find out that Madison is a telekinetic. She killed this director in the movie because he's talking about she needs to find her light, so she knocked him in the head with the light, killed him. Nan is a clairvoyant. Queenie apparently is a freaky human voodoo doll. She hurts herself. She hurts somebody else. She's like, yeah, come on, do it. I don't feel nothing. I don't feel nothing. I was like, oh my goodness. So this broad does actually just hurt herself and it don't affect her. What the hell? And then Zoe kills by having sex. I'm not sure what they call that when you kill when you're trying to get intimate with a guy, but apparently she kills you. I feel bad. I figured she would have some sort of power like that when they were showing that room, her going in the room. Cause I was like, that reminded me of if you ever of the X-Men movie, the first one, where when Rogue comes into the room and she's have sex and she kisses him and the boy goes into like a coma state. I'm like, oh my god, she got rogue like powers, except they actually die. So, Nan and Queenie leave the room because they got to look, because Nan told Queenie go calm down. So Madison like, oh well, Zoe, you're my new best friend. What do you have any colors? And I'm about to get you like, no, why? Because she knew the guy. She said they're going to a frat party. Meanwhile, we see the headmistress. Like she's in the green room, she mixes some herbs and stuff, and she ends up getting spooked by Fiona, who we find out is the supreme witch and her mama. Fiona artist argues to her daughter that your teaching philosophy about your teaching philosophy is not working due to the fact that in today's generation we have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Vine, and whatever else we have, whatever media kids is doing these days. I know I say kids like I'm old. I'm only 22. Yeah, but given the fact that today a lot of things is harder today, whether it's in terms of magic or any other thing. I mean, you break out to a fight, it's gonna be on YouTube. Just know that. If you twerking, it's gonna be on YouTube. Okay, if you flashing your breast, it's going to be on YouTube. Okay, or Vine or it's whatever social media network. It's gonna be on there. It's gonna be out there in the world. Things is not like it used to be in the 90s and the 80s. It's not like they used to be. And she said to teach the girls so they could better defend themselves. So oh, don't use magic, don't use magic, don't use magic. So we didn't see. We got the frat party. Yeah, frat party. Work it out. What? And so we have Kyle, who's played by Evan Peters. He pretty much is gonna be the sober one during this party while he lets frat boys, have fun and tells them, hey, don't portray the stereotype of being a frat boy. Like, yeah, man, yeah, so like that. So we have everybody at the party, getting their groove on, getting their flirt on, and getting their drink on. And so we have Kyle and Zoe, they chatting up and talk. While Madison, she being a little bitch, and she like, you're gonna be my slave. He's like, what they get for me? She's like, you're a slave. You don't get nothing. So obviously that response pissed him off, and he looks to his friend. They show him turning from her and looks to his friend because she told him to go get a drink. He says, let's have some fun because he pulled something out of his pocket. So we did see Madison. Obviously, she has been drugged. This is why young women, you do not go to any party. I don't care if it's a teen club, a frat party, a high school party. You don't go to no party and let them boy buy you a drink because they will slip something in that shit. That's why you buy your own drink, or if you do have a drink, you don't let it leave your sight. That's why when I used to go to clubs, I never bought a drink. I drunk. If I drunk anything, I was gonna drink when I get home, or I drank before I got there. I'm not gonna drink nothing at the party and let nobody buy me nothing. The only time I ever let somebody buy me something was my friend. I even watched the bartender make sure he ain't slip nothing in there. You gotta watch people nowadays, especially young women. I mean, you gotta watch that stuff. All these freaking drugs they got here, they slipping into your drink and you black out and you done had a train ran on you by freaking 15 guys and now your knives all up on some weird website or something. You gotta, women, you gotta be freaking careful. You know what I'm saying? So she is drugged. The boys takes her where she is gang raped, and why they are gang raping this girl, they are freaking videotaping. I'm like, really, really, you are the freaking disgusting. You should not even be on this earth no freaking more. What point is there to freaking do that to a young woman? Yeah, she was a little bit bitchy. That does not give you the right to rape her ass. Okay, Jesus. So Zoe's like, she really likes Kyle, but given the fact that, she can't really get intimate with a person she likes, she's like, this is not gonna work out. So then she wondering what Madison is, and she like, so Kyle's like, okay, let me go look upstairs for her. So when Kyle gets there, he sees them, raping a girl, and he like stops like, yo, what the hell are you doing? Stop that. So they knock him out and run. So Kyle chases after him to go try to get the cameras and stuff, get him, you being a good guy, doing the right thing. Yeah, Zoe did come in. And she's like, "Oh my God, Madison." She covers her up stuff, and she's like, I'm gonna get them. They're not gonna get away with this." And she runs out in her little black dress and her heels. Kyle and stuff follows them on. The frat boys on the bus that did the crime. They kicked the freaking bus driver off, and they knocked Kyle out unconscious. And they're like, "Okay, delete everything off your phones. We don't say nothing about this." I'm like, really? I wonder how often does that happen in real life. Cause I read an article, I think it was Cosmopolitan, they're talking about most colleges, they do not report rapes that are reported on campus. So I'm like, really? Why would you not report that? And they said because they don't want their reputation to be tarnished. I'm like, so women that get raped on college campuses obviously have no feeling of security or safety because colleges don't want to report the boys that did this because they would don't want to tarnish their precious reputation. Sometimes it just sucks to be a woman. I'll tell you that much. Anyway, so as they try to drive off from the scene of the crime, Zoe, like, she's upset because she can't capture the bus, and obviously she has no power to stop it. So Madison, who's now a little bit, a little bit more, clear-headed, walks out, focuses, flips the freaking bus and blows it up, and walks away. Like, and Zoe's upset because Kyle was on that bus and she really liked him. We then have Fiona. It's the next day. Next morning, Fiona comes to the kitchen and tells Madison that she was sloppy with her thing, and then Madison's like, "Shut up, you old hag." And Fiona's like, "Oh, really, old hag?" And like flicks a cigarette, then flicks onto the wall. And then Fiona says, "I'm gonna take you girls on a trip after you change your clothes." She wants them to wear all black. So she's taking them down to French Quarter, give them a little history about, witches and stuff. And then now she stops and she looks toward over this house and she walks over there. Fiona and the rest of the girls follow her, and there's a tour of Madame Delphine LaLaurie's house. And then the woman's like, the tour guy like, "Man, you got to pay for a ticket." Supreme Court doesn't say, like, "We don't have a pay for a ticket, it's free." The woman's like, "Okay." She just did a Jedi mind trick, and the woman like, "Oh yeah, it is free." I'm like, Jesus, she did a Jedi mind trick on this woman. So the tour is going over into about Madame Laurie, and she was high female white socialite, and but she did not follow the rules on how to treat her slave, because in New Orleans they had you had rules on how to handle your slave. She didn't follow that. She did her own motherfucking rules. And so we're at the tour, and we kind of go into a flashback in the 1800s. We didn't go back to the 1800s, where we see the madam tell her daughter that she needs more, and the daughter's like, "Mom, I don't want to do this." And she says that, "Are you gonna do what I tell you and stuff? You gonna find yourself a good man, or you gonna want some black children getting all your inheritance?" Because at that time, because in New Orleans it was a bit different from other southern states during slavery time. Like a black, like the white master, the white slave master could leave his black children could leave his black children like the house and money. He could leave them, some sort of inheritance. Because in New Orleans, you had the Creole, you had the white, you had the like two sets of black people. You had the slaves, and then within your slaves, you had your house slaves and you had your field slaves, and then you had your Creoles, people that was like, high, within our black community, be considered high society. And, it was it usually was a black woman. She was usually light skinned, because apparently the lighter the better you was. She was light skinned, and she was raised by her mom to be, a lovely young black woman. And they would take them to these things once they reach these like ball things reach a certain age, where they would get picked by a white man who would pretty much be his black mistress. She would have her own house that he would pick out for her, and when he wasn't at his big plantation, he would be over there with her. He would father her children. He would send them money. They would send them to school in Paris, because obviously you couldn't teach a Negro in America, so they would send them to Paris, for education wise. All that was all this fun. And a black man was brought up as strong black men in society, and they will marry a black female of the same social status. You know that's how New Orleans was. It was very unique in terms of a lot of things from other southern states. So the she tells her daughter that she needs her miracle night cream. So they go. We see this black man. She takes like this hook and she rips. She cuts him open and removes his pancreas, because this is what her mom uses to make a poultice for her face. That's just nasty. That's nasty and gross what she did. Ugh. Yeah. So the tour continues up till they show you the attic, or do they take the tour up to the attic, or where all the slaves, that was mutilated and tortured was held. And then we see Madame Maria Labeau, who played by Angela Bassett. Madame Maria Labeau was a real voodoo priestess of New Orleans people, along with Madame Delphine LaLaurie. She was a real white woman. Okay, these two are historically accurate, to the extent, because it is a TV show. So majority of they lines is historically accurate. So we have Madame LeBeau telling, Madame LaLaurie that I have something to cure your affliction that was given to you by a husband. So obviously the husband been sleeping around with some young thing because they say he has a thing for young women. So obviously he been sleeping around with some young things. He didn't call slippers list or some herpes or something, and he gave it to his wife. So she gives Madame Maria Laveau gives Madame LaLaurie the potion, and she's like, she just sucking up to like, ooh, tastes like honeysuckle, mmm, and then she like, whoo, and like it's working. All of a sudden she's like, oh snap, something ain't right, and she drops down dead, and Maria Laveau just sits down at the thing, and it says she got revenge on her because the man that she brutalated there from early in the episode, the black man that was caught sleeping with the white daughter, was her lover. So we see her go up to him like, oh my god, oh my love, what has she done to you? In the first action and stuff. And then we go back to the present time where the tour ended, and Fiona looking outside the window, she sees Nan out in this courtyard area, and Nan says, and she asks Nan, what does she hear? And Nan replied that she hears the lady of the house. And then we scan over to the ground, you're like, oh snap, she under there? Oh snap. And then we see Zoe. She goes to the hospital to see if Kyle was one of the survivors, because I think there was about 2 survivors out of all everybody else that was on the bus. We see that Kyle didn't make it. He was one of the people that died. And the rapist survived and the black boy survived. So Madison's upset that this bastard who had raped and drugged Madison survived. But the guy who tried to, the guy who's doing the good thing ends up dying. It's kind of unfair. So she closed the door, closed the curtain, and she wrapped the little, the curtain that separates the divider thing, warms him up, so to speak. He warms him up and gets on top of him and pretty much has sex with him till he dies. I'm like, well, that's what you get for raping people. And then we see Fiona telling her daughter that she's going out, her stuff is getting put in. She said, tell her, give the cab driver's money. And the driver's like, well, I'm going to change the lock when you get back. She's like, don't make me drop a house on you. Because throughout the episode, they haven't been making references to classic, things, but classic books or movies involved, which is like, dropping on the houses. You're obviously a reference to, the witch that was, she got her house dropped on her and with dark shoes. Fiona earlier in the episode said this is not Hogwarts, obviously a reference to Harry Potter. So we have all these like funny references throughout the show. And then we see Fiona again in the courtyard with these 2 men that she obviously entranced because they're not gonna remember anything once it was done. And they get this coffin. She opens it up. It's Madame LaLaurie, who does not look like she has aged a freaking day. She's not even posing. She's not even dead. She looks the way she was back in the 1800s. So she was gagged and chained up. So obviously somebody put her in there. And so she tells her, "Come on, I'm gonna give you a drink," and it kind of goes off like that. So that was American Horror Story season 3 premiere, and it's titled Bitchcraft. American Horror Story Coven season 3 episode 1 Bitchcraft. That was a really good episode. I like how God's gonna do. I've been reading some comments on Facebook and Twitter, like people like, oh Sam, this is gonna be good, and some people are kind of creeped out because of the fact that it is New Orleans, Louisiana. You talking about a time frame of slavery. You talking about what this woman did, because this is Madame Delphine LaLaurie was a real woman. She actually did this to slaves. So you deal with racism, slavery, voodoo. Well, New Orleans voodoo, you're gonna be dealing with witchcraft, because voodoo and witchcraft is 2 different things. Witchcraft, you could trace its ancestry back to the Druids of Gaul, and voodoo, it's from Haiti, but New Orleans voodoo is a little bit different because it combines Native American, the voodoo, and Christian, I think, saints and stuff all together in one. So it's a uniqueness of its own, just like the city of New Orleans is. So you have all this accumulating in this season of American Horror Story. So it's going to be really good. And I'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.